And this news coming in from the Supreme Court. The Delhi Ordinance row is, the hearing is on in the Supreme Court of India. Hearing has begun. The point of contention is that ordinance that was brought in by the central government to give the LG power over services. Now, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta has said this in the courtroom. The position as on date is that no one is doing anything at this point. We are introducing the ordinance in this session of Parliament commencing on July 20th. So that's the first official confirmation coming in that this ordinance will be brought in. The bill will be brought in the Parliament with monsoon session starting on 20th of July. Solicitor General Mehta says DERC is at this point headless, that the Delhi Electricity Regulatory Commission. Senior Advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who is representing the Delhi government, is present there. And while Tushar Mehta and Abhishek Manu Singhvi are engaged in their respective arguments, CJI says that we have a suggestion that if at this point it is possible, the Chief Minister and LG can sit down and give a name so that the DRC can function. Why should everything go through modalities of the Supreme Court? So essentially, what is being suggested by the Chief Justice is that instead of a judicial order, try and see if this can be sorted out between the Chief Minister and between the LG. That is as far as DRC is concerned. But the Aam Aadmi Party has been trying to gather political support also for its cause that this ordinance is anti-Delhi. It's anti-national also because this is a way to really fiddle with the federal structure. That's what the Aam Aadmi Party has alleged, and that matter has now reached the Supreme Court. Pallavi Ghosh is here with me. Pallavi, first the SG confirming that in this session the bill will be brought in. But what do you make of the tutu meme that's happening in the Supreme Court?
And, this has become now a huge political point, really. I mean, it's now the government versus, I would say, the opposition also, because this is exactly what we have been talking about. According to the Aam Aadmi Party, this is an attempt of the Delhi government. This is an attempt being made to intrude into a working style of the Delhi government. And according to them, it is this new ordinance which is actually stopping or preventing the Delhi government from functioning. And, and I think this is a point that was also made during the floods, when they said that the bureaucrats are not even listening to us because of this ordinance. And inside the court, in fact, Tushar Mehta has made it very clear that this is something which the government plans to bring it in the Parliament session, which begins on 20th. The Supreme Court, of course, also, Arunima, making clear why is it something which cannot be sorted out between the LG and the Delhi government. Why do you have to involve the Supreme Court in all the modalities? But this is just a hearing going on. It'll be interesting to see what repercussions this has on the talks which are going on in Bangalore. And second is what is going to be the political permutation and combination inside the Parliament once it is introduced.
So that's what my next question, Pallavi. The numbers seems to be always stacked in favor of the government. Whatever the bill might be, even something as controversial as triple talaq, government managed to sail through. So when this bill is introduced, is the opposition really hopeful that this unity between AAP, Congress and the rest of the opposition parties could make this bill be defeated on the floor of Rajya Sabha?
During the triple talaq, I think most of the opposition parties understood that the numbers are not with them. But these are all about political perception. You have to show that you're willing to put up a fight. And even though the numbers, if you talk in terms of numbers, even within the Congress party, there is a sense of unease. I mean, I did speak to some of the Punjab and Delhi Congress leaders and many of them, of course, MPs. They said, maybe a good option for us is to abstain. Now, if you abstain, it's going to help the BJP even more. BJP is certainly going to be banking on parties like the BJD, the parties like the YSR Congress and BRS also. So in terms of sheer numbers, opposition perhaps is aware of the fact that they don't have those kind of numbers and maybe the ordinance gets cleared. But you also have to put up a fight. That semblance of fight, the need to stand out is also a political compulsion, which is exactly what we are seeing being played out.
So that makes the Supreme Court hearing that much more important. The realization that in Parliament, legislatively, you can't really defeat this ordinance. You can't stop it from becoming an act. Your only hope is if it is declared unconstitutional.
Yes, their only hope is, and the legal route is something which we know they are already exercising. But the point here also, I think this is going to be a test case for opposition unity to show whether unity actually can take place. The Bangalore meeting certainly begins on a strong foot and a positive note that at least over here we've been able to show a sense of opposition unity. I mean, look, most political parties are also aware of the fact that parties like the BJD, the YSR will never ever stand by them. But what they are certainly hoping is that if this is something is happening to us today, it is something which can happen to you tomorrow. You know, the way they're coining it as any attempt to fiddle around with the federal structure must be opposed. They are hoping certainly that it is this coinage which could perhaps compel the YSR Congress, the BJD, and of course the BRS to, at the end of the day, support them as far as when the ordinance comes up for placing for vote.
Right, and as I'm speaking to you, Pallavi, Ananya is sending us more updates from the inside the Supreme Court on the Chief Justice of India's suggestion about LG and CM sitting together. Senior advocate Harish Salve says, I appear for the LG, I don't need instruction, this must happen. So he's kind of supporting the CJI. It's unfortunate that the Delhi government lawyer starts by saying that he has no hope. The first reaction should be, yes, we will do it. So Salve there saying that the Delhi government's approach seems very negative. Pallavi?
Yes, so, and this, Arunima, has been the kind of war of words. Delhi government's argument all along has been that, this is something which is an infringement on the rights and power of the Delhi government. And if you allow this ordinance to sail through, then what you're doing is that a centre can start dominating the working of the Delhi government. We are reduced to being a further puppet. The Delhi government has always made us please get any case, for example, law and order is not in our domain. You cannot take away the rights over our bureaucrats because then they stop listening to us. And then the way the machinery works, the files will not move, they're not going to listen to us, and they're going to become more powerful, and clearly the centre is going to start interfering and working into the daily or a day-to-day routine of the Delhi government. That's the crux of the argument which is being given over there. What is also interesting is that the counter-argument which comes in from the central government standpoint, and they have given out past instances to show that this is not exactly what happened. Even under the Sheila Dikshit government, there was a semblance of where she was able to manage to work along with the bureaucrats to ensure that the wheels of governance was moving smoothly. In that context, for example, Ajay Makhan also agrees with the central government as far as the ordinance goes. So these are going to be interesting developments inside the court, which is bound to have a political fallout as well.
Pallavi Ghosh, thank you so much. Pallavi there helping us understand what's happening in the Supreme Court of India. There's a hearing on as far as the Delhi Ordinance is concerned. That hearing is ongoing. We'll get you more on what's really happening in the courtroom. But for now, taking a very quick break. Stay right here. There's more coming in.